I think we'll get going. It's probably going to be quite a short one. Q, that's what she said. Jokes. Basically, I figured I may as well finish this job up live. So that's kind of what I'm planning to do. Yeah. There's method to my madness. So even Pete and Chris and whoever the other two or three of you are that are watching, because there seems to be 5, although I think one of them is Stream Elements. So anywho, yeah. Apparently not, because apparently said Mrs. likes something a little longer, allegedly. Anyway, that's a whole different story from a whole different stream. God, that sounds so wrong. Anyway, you guys will be amazed, pleased, maybe shocked to see that I did actually remember to add in the Mersker 2000 S 2x2. I know, I was amazed too. So that is available now, so that when I harvest the wheat, I will actually be able to stick it straight in there and mill it to grain grist. So that's kind of cool. Wow, the combine's already full. Did I leave it full? That's entirely possible that I left it full. Yeah. It's been a very farm simmy evening for me. Unusually so. That's the wrong button. That's the wrong button. Let's reattach that. I've just finished a Sackstalk video, a Oaks video for the patrons, and now doing this. So that's more farm sim than I've done in a very long time. So it's kind of good. It's kind of fun. And all of them were different. So yeah. Oh, it's been such a long day. Yeah, a busy evening and a busy day. I spent, and actually I don't want to think about how many hours it was. Far too many hours sat in Teams meetings today. It was three quite long meetings, and quite boring meetings. They were quite boring as well. So and by the end of it, it was kind of a, please everyone just stop talking, we must be done by now, I want to finish. And it kind of meant I didn't finish work until like I think it was 4:30, which really doesn't sound that late, I guess, apart from the fact that I usually start work pretty early, and so I usually finish my day pretty early, and I didn't. So it made for quite a long day, and tomorrow's going to be quite a long day as well, so that's going to suck. And tomorrow is also going to mean that I'll come back to your comment about avoiding meetings in a minute, Pete. The fact that I'm probably going to get back relatively late tomorrow means I'm probably going to miss the Terra Life stream, which Paul should be doing tomorrow evening over on his channel. So go check that out. I can't be the guy sleeping, unfortunately, because I'm the guy that's in charge of our team, so I'm generally the guy that knows the answers to questions from our company. So yeah, Pete, I was very tempted to. My last meeting of the day, I was actually booked to be in 2 meetings, and I was able. One of the meetings, I was able to send a couple of the guys from my team to, so that I could go to the other one. And a tiny, very unprofessional part of me, but I didn't let win because I am professional, was quite tempted to tell the people in the other meeting that I couldn't go to that one because I had to go to the other meeting. But I am a professional, and I went. And and it actually felt like a massive waste of my time, because pretty much all I did was say, hi, I'm me, and this is what I do, and then listen for nearly 3 hours to other people talking, because I'm kind of for that job, because it's different to my normal job. I'm kind of learning for someone that's retiring. Well, I think possibly retiring soon. So, yeah. Whereas my normal job, I'm the other end. I'm the guy that's been doing it for 20 odd years, and so I'm the guy that's normally the one talking and answering the questions. So, yeah, it's a bit. Was the last meeting of the day was a bit meh, and I could have done without it. Oh well. It means I can't do any of this around work when I'm stuck in meetings. So, it's kind of nice. Like if I can finish at like half three, I can sneak this in for an hour when I finish, which is what I did yesterday. So, and this is kind of fun. So, this is kind of fun. Come on, go into reverse. There we go. So yeah, I might only be like half an hour this evening, something like that. I should probably have gone and emptied that trailer, shouldn't I? Oh well. Being the only person, Pete, is usually the reason that I can't get out of things. There's quite a lot of things where I work at the moment where I am the only person that knows. Like the thing that I have to go to tomorrow. I'm the only person that knows from our company. In fact, I'm the only independent person that knows. And so I have to go. And yeah, sometimes that sucks, but it also pays the bills. It gives me a little bit of job security, so that's good. I'm glad that I'm better than Corey. That's kind of, I want to say that's high praise, but then also I know who you are, so it's really not a very high bar, I don't think. You know, that's like saying I'm better than staring at a blank wall for you, probably. At some point, when life becomes more normal, hopefully. I don't know when that will be, and I'm not sure what counts as normal. And I don't know whether I want to actually, but I'm imagining at some point we might swap the English streams over, and I might start doing the are you poor? Isn't Emmerdale farming, or is that not called Emmerdale Farm anymore? Actually, Emmerdale's not. My missus used to watch Emmerdale, and there's not very much farm in there, is there anymore? So, I can't believe you're even making me talk about that stuff. So before this, while I was playing and just doing stuff, I was watching Prison Break, because that seems to be most of what I watch. Before that, I was watching a certain gentleman that we may have referred to earlier playing with his beaver, which he doesn't seem to have killed off this time. Well, they seem to have recovered magically. So yeah, there was farming in that, sort of, but they don't have combines. I've not been watching much other farm sim lately. I started watching a Mr. CDP video earlier. His mod review video from yesterday. I need to finish watching it because it's got some mods that look quite interesting. One that I might use on Valley of the Old Farm. So it's the one from yesterday with the transit that has not a 3 point, whatever you call a lorry trailer hitch, I guess. And the Zetor forestry tractor, both of which I think look really interesting. So, and I think the Zetor, it might be fun to use on Valley of the Old Farm for doing forestry, because it's got the 2 winches on the back. So 5th wheel, that's the jobby. That's the jobby. That's exactly what I said, I think. So, yeah. But I watched, I think I watched about 2 or 3 mods worth of it, and then got distracted by something else. I think sorting the dogs out, getting the chaos that is sorting out dog meals when you've got 4 dogs, which is always great fun, particularly when one of them has to have almost as many medications as you probably do, Pete. No, probably not that many, actually. Yeah, the 2-part one. I was watching the second part because it had mods in that I was interested in. I didn't realise it was 2 parts until he said. Literally, I fell for that thumbnail looks interesting. And I'd already downloaded that Zetor forestry tractor and put it in the Valley of the Old Farm mods folder. But I thought I'd watch Mr. CDP have a little play with it and see if it looked any good. So, before I spent like actual, real, fake money on it. Can I get enough in? I reckon I can get enough in there to finish that. Yeah, but I've really not felt like watching much Farm Sim lately. So, but then I've not played much lately. You didn't, well, you did nearly miss it. We're not that far through finish. I'm not actually going to stop at finishing this field. So you haven't nearly missed it, Marnox. Good evening. Hopefully they're not nasty meds that are being added, Pete. Monday, so a couple of days ago, I had to increase the dose of my migraine meds again by 50%, and I think that's giving me another side effect hit, which is always fun. Nothing too major, but always a little bit annoying. Okay. You don't need bones, Pete. Not at your age. Is that for the osteoporosis? I'm not going to ask you to spell that. That is what you said you had, isn't it? I think. Yeah. That's one of those old people things, isn't it, really? My dad's waiting to... I'm just trying to think where he is at the moment. He's waiting to go to the doctors now for follow-up with the consultant for spinal stuff. Haha, Pete. No swearing at me. It's just part of getting old, buddy. It's part of getting old. Let's try not to crash as we come out this time. it does have a tipper attachment. It only holds 2,000 litres. And I didn't think that was anywhere near enough. So that's why we've got a trailer on the back, which holds 8,000 litres. So I would have used a tipper attachment, but 2,000 litres was going to not be enough at all. So, good evening, Finnish farmer. Yeah, because it's got to go to be sold. I didn't want to do it 2,000 litres at a time. Just have a thought while we're waiting. That needs 130 horsepower. I think the truck might have that. The truck has 109. Ignore the class, because that's our neighbour's tractor. We might have a problem. I don't think so. I think it is... I think it's just 2,400. And the modded versions... attach brain, which is that one. I think was also only 2,000. So, yeah, it could be 10,000 with the 8,000 litre trailer. But, and I did think about that. I did, sorry, slow brain. It's been a long day. You were here when I said that. Let me off. I did talk about maybe doing that when I brought the trailer, but I decided not to. For reasons I justified to myself at the time. So yeah, we might have to see if our ever so wonderful neighbour will loan us his tractor again, so we can actually run that mill. Or we might just have to buy a bigger tractor, because we've got quite a bit of cash. Or borrow, or lease one. That's the word I was looking for. Lease. Right. How much money did we make off of there? 40 grand. That's pretty nice. That's when our neighbour brought their tractor, that £105,000. Because I was being a little bit lazy in adding it in. You can tell where Pete's from, can't you? Don't have a tractor? Steal it. I don't have any Deutz installed, and no. Although it does happen there as well. Story time in a moment. Story time in a moment. Let's have a look at what we do have available. Ooh. 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 I'm thinking that a Unimog would be a very good idea. With a bale transport platform, because that would be perfect for taking the pallets of fabric to sell. So, and we could get many horsepowers. And yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, let's get air conditioning. Yeah, that we will get. No, I don't like that colour. Yes, nice and subtle. It's got universal auto load as well. I feel like I'm missing a front attacher, but I'm not too worried. I think we're going to buy that for 40 grand. And in that case, I think we're going to drop that off of there. I don't actually think we need that there. No, we are going to have that there. Are we? Think. No, we're not. I'm going to set this up over here. Refill time, yeah, I think we're okay. We'll do a little bit more. Are you sure it wasn't you, Pete? Right, and then we are going to lease one of these. We don't need to do anything to that. I don't believe you. And what we're going to do is to turn round. No, we don't need to have a silo. No, or I don't have a silo. We're going to end up tipping it on the floor in one of the sheds. I'm not going to actually get that much. We don't actually need that much. So my thought was to do that and then just empty the combine straight into there. My original plan was to sell all of the grain, but then I realized that we needed some of it to feed the sheeps, so now we do this. And we're in forwards, and we'll do a little bit more and see how long this takes. That can go. I don't think we're going to get a huge amount off of here. Funnily enough, and that it wasn't exactly planned. I did talk last time about maybe buying a Unimog, so. And it's been a while since I had one of those. It was on Obaileron. And they are a fun vehicle. They've been quite good to have for doing what we've just done, because we could have had the back on and done exactly what you suggested, Chris, with doing the same thing, but the 3,500 litres would have probably made more of a difference. Oh well. Do I want to drop the straw? I suppose it would make sense because at the very least we will be able to pick it up and sell it. That's that button, isn't it? I think. Yep, that's that button. Because we've got the loading wagon, so I might as well. Actually, we can probably just put it in the hayloft, I'm guessing. That would make sense. Oh, there are 8 of you here now. That seems like quite a lot, given that this isn't a Terra Life or Maze Plus preview stream or anything like that. It's very good that you do enjoy just hanging out, because otherwise I'd be yet again having spent most of the evening talking to myself. I'd just be sat here talking to myself again, or talking to the dogs, and they get very confused when I'm talking and I'm not actually talking to them. So, because I do actually talk to the dogs, because, you know, they're family, so you do talk to them, but when I'm talking but I'm not actually talking to them, they get a little bit confused. So, how many pigs did you send flying, Pete? It's 45%. I think, because it's power food that we're making, so we only need about 10 or 15,000 litres. See, some people say that you have to talk to yourself to find someone to talk to that understands you. But, you know. Cartech would be happy because I've left both of the other vehicles running. And that's always a really good way of annoying him, if I just leave everything turned on. He really, really, really did enjoy that. Game sound is going to vanish for a second. And then I can see who's here. Oh, well, there's actually quite a few people here. Cavalier is here, and Welsh Gamer is here, and a bunch of other people. Jeez. And Mr. Haythornthwaite. Yes, 2 days in a row. If you do join him, Monarchs, make sure that you leave as many vehicles as possible running, because he really, really likes that. It's his favourite thing. If you just go round the farm and turn things on, and it makes him really happy. Makes him really happy. You don't need to move. Just turn them on and walk away. He'll be really pleased. He'll be really pleased. There we go. That, my friends, is going to be a bit of a thumbnail, maybe. There we go. Got to like a nice, fast grain mill. Yep, that's going nice and quickly. Lovely job. Just managed to combine myself in the head. working, and I can do a bit more combining. Mark, I now have a Saxthorpe video which has me understanding how your mod works in it as well. Because someone had forgotten what I explained in my own video today. So, yep. It's really embarrassing when someone explains your own video to you. And it does make sense now. It does make sense. Yep. Hey, Connor. How you doing? Yeah, it's complete brain fart. Complete brain fart. I don't know why I expected what I expected to happen. And for anyone else that's wondering, you'll see in the start of the next Saxthorpe video what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of a preview of an upcoming mod. And I had unrealistic expectations of it working magic. Yeah, I'm kind of pondering whether we might actually, well, not we, me, well, you're here as well, I guess, whether I might actually finish combining this field today. Because I don't think it's going to take very long. Yes, it does work magic. You modders are so sensitive, especially you script modders. I guess voodoo is magic. You did sacrifice a chicken. I'm sure someday I will understand how lure works. But when I look at the stuff that people like you and Loki write, it looks like random characters, and then magic happens. And that's from someone who half understands code, and it still looks like random characters, random phrases, magic happens. So I'll take that. I think that's a fair statement. Sometimes it's very hard to do magic justice. I think it's going to be very, very hard. Switching topics slightly, not to not do your amazing mod justice, because it is very good. I think it's going to be very, very hard to do Terra Life justice when I try and do videos on that, because there's so much in there. So much in that mod. I think, and again, don't get upset, Mark, not to belittle your very, very good mod. It has a, actually it doesn't, because people are probably going to completely misunderstand the functionality of it. It performs a function, a very good function. God, I'm trying to be diplomatic. You can't upset script modders. They're very delicate little beings. But in theory, it does a function, which most people will understand. And also most people will slightly misunderstand. But something with something like Terra Life, which has got so much stuffed in it, I don't think I've got my head yet around the level of complexity, and therefore trying to explain that complexity is just, yeah, mind blowing. I remember sitting down, trying. Hi, Gav. I did say hello, but seeing as you've said hello, I'll say hello again. I remember sitting down trying to plan my first wave of tutorials for Maze Plus, and that feels insignificant to what I think is going to be in Terra Life. Yeah, it feels insignificant, but I also think that probably, I might be wrong, but I feel like it's going to have a much more niche audience, because people might be intimidated by it. A lot like I was with Maze Plus at first in FS19, but I do think that there might be a bit of that people will think it's too hard to play with. Yeah. And I think there'll be the element that maybe people will want a certain type of map that maybe is not available, and so therefore won't play it. The diplomacy skills are being stretched. Yeah, so I can imagine there being lots of questions where the answer will just be no, because I can imagine there being lots of questions like, I want to use Terra Life, but I want to use it on insert map that doesn't have Terra Life. I can imagine lots of, how do I add Terra Life to? Both are very easy questions to answer. I can imagine lots of, I want to use Terra Life, but I don't want to use feature X, which again is going to be pretty easy to answer because they're all no. I can imagine lots of questions will be answered by go read the documentation or go watch the video. And then there'll be loads more which are slightly more complicated because people will have actually put time in. They are exactly the same, Pete, but completely different. Some random bloke. The documentation, to my knowledge, doesn't exist yet for Terra Life. For Maze Plus, most of it was actually written by a guy most of you probably have never heard of, called Limon, and was then translated into English and German, and he might have written it in German initially, and then I reworked the English version quite significantly, and that fed back into the other versions. So I don't know what the plan is for doing the Terra Life documentation yet, because I kind of obviously have been a bit detached as it's ramped up in the last few weeks, so it is only on ZX Spectrum, unfortunately. You do have to have the 128K version for it to run, though. It won't run on the 48K version. I'm imagining that we will be flooded with questions in the lead up to and when it releases, and that's fine. So I think that the bit that is going to be my favourite types of questions are when people have actually put a bit of effort in. There was a guy today that was trying to do some stuff with feeding in Maze Plus. My answer might have been a bit blunt because that's kind of how I am. But he was attempting to edit the feeding, and he was editing slightly the wrong thing, but only ever so slightly. And which is much better than the standard. I want to do this. How do I do it? Or my even more favourite question: does this thing work with this? That always frustrates me. It's like, does this map or this mod work with Maze Plus? It's like, why don't you go and try it and find out, and then you can tell me. It's like, now there's a chance that someone will have used it and someone will say, oh yeah, it does, or it doesn't. But equally, why not just spend the 10 minutes yourself testing it? Yeah, but maybe that's because that's how my brain works. I don't know. That's another. The where do I download it from is a weird one, because I think sometimes some people don't realise that. So I had that sort of question, with the Animal Food Editions update. Someone asked if that meant it was available on the Maze Plus Discord. And I don't know if that's because they didn't realise that I had access to it because I'm part of the farming agency. And whether they just thought I was some random person doing a video on it. So, not sure about that one. Could have been that they didn't realise that I actually have access to it because I'm part of the team, or what. But so yeah, that was a bit. Oh, pay attention. And I don't know. I didn't. As a person, I didn't recognise. And maybe they weren't sure. Maybe they didn't know that farming agency mods only get uploaded to Mod Hub. Maybe they just didn't know that. Yeah. But that was a weird one. Right. Where am I going to tip this stuff? Because everything is now full. And you also get the delight of me trying to reverse a dolly trailer into somewhere. Let's work out where we're going to put it first. And then there's really only one option, which is in here, I guess. Yeah. I don't think, yeah, because that's bale and pallet storage, isn't it? I don't really want to tip it in there, so this could be interesting. We've all got an hour, right? Why would they need super strength, Pete? Famous last words and all that. No, that way. Can't do this and talk. Tip side, rear. No, too much. Let's see. There. Yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to put it, I think. What happened to story time? I've forgotten what the story was that I was going to tell you. Yeah. I've forgotten what the story was, unfortunately. So, it was as I was driving this up to park it, wasn't it? Jesus. And I'm nowhere near as old as Pete. So once the combine's empty, we can finish harvesting and we will finish because this has turned into not short. I'm sure you are, Pete, but be careful, you're old, you might like break a hip. I'm wondering whether I should sell some of this actually. But we don't have anywhere to sell it. No, it's not brewer's grain. Okay, someone point at grain grist for me. I guess the price is probably the same as Leica grain grist. So there's not a sell point for grain grist. Oh, there is. 1600. Wow. 1900. Stock check. Stock check. No, not heard of that mod. Not heard of that mod. Anyone know stock check? That's something to do with supermarkets. Sock check. Ah, I'm not wearing socks. Not wearing socks. That'll be the problem. See, if I had socks on, I would have been able to find it quicker. Who knew? Who knew? So I'm actually going to keep all of it because even if I do sell it, it's going to be worth way more later in the year. I thought sitting in the chair kept my brain warm. Now, I don't think I'm going to subject you to me tipping the rest of this. So we've got another 8 combine empty, basically. So 8, 16 plus 34. So what's that? 19,400 litres plus all of the whole crop silage. That's pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that. And I think, do we want to No, I don't think we need to hang on to the combine at all. And I know I'm not worried about the 55 litres that are in it. And that can go. So we just need to finish milling that and we will be good. So I'm going to call it an evening there, because then I can have a bit of time to chill out. So thanks all of you for stopping by. It's very much appreciated. I'm going to try and sneak one of these in over the weekend, potentially. So tomorrow, Paul will be streaming Terra Life over on his channel, and probably Friday as well we will be streaming Terra Life over on his channel. I'll hopefully be joining him on Friday evening. So yep, so the next 2 evenings there should be English Terra Life streams, so go join Paul's channel to see what's happening with that. He's into just playing now, so can actually see it being used, which is kind of cool. Rather than just showing random stuff off, so that should be good. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, folks, and I will catch you all next time.